In their calling out to Baal, there was a lot of dancing and shouting. And if you were far away from this scene, you probably would have thought they were having a big party or a festival. I bet you from a distance, it would have looked like a lot of fun. And a lot of us, when we look at people that are still in darkness, they're still living in the world, they're still being ruled by their flesh, it often can look like fun from a distance. But if you get a little closer, and you listen a little closer, you'll start to hear the desperation of their shouts. You'll see they're exhausted with the party. And some of us, we remember those days, don't we? We remember those days that maybe if you danced a little longer, maybe if you drank a little more, maybe if you entered another relationship or turned the music up louder, you would feel a little less empty. See, this is a very archaic story, but it's also a very present day story, isn't it? Then Elijah starts taunting them and mocking their gods and tries to get them to realize the lies of their culture. Maybe their God's dead. Maybe he's traveling, but they're so invested in their worldview, even though they're exhausted and feel dead inside, they're willing to do anything they can do to get his attention. And so they start cutting, as was their custom. You know that self-harm is directly connected to Baal worship. If you've ever known somebody who's cut themselves and known a young man or a young girl, oftentimes it happens with younger teenagers, cutting yourself. I've dealt with a lot of this with people that I've worked with in the prisons and people that have gone through some stuff. Modern day cutting and self-harm is connected to Baal worship. Because what are you essentially saying? I'm screaming and no one hears me. I've danced and partied and tried, hoping that somebody would see me. Maybe if I cut myself, somebody will notice. And for some, I felt so numb that maybe if I cut myself, I'll start to feel something. And so they dance. And this younger generation today, ladies and gentlemen, is dancing and screaming and cutting. And the culture never satisfies. And it leaves them bleeding, cutting, frantically prophesying, but there is no response. The culture has not responded to them. No one has answered. No one has paid attention. My question to you this morning is, where is the church? Where are the modern day prophets? Where are those of us that will go into the darkness and let them know you don't have to live like that anymore? You don't have to live like that. There's a God who loves you. There's a God who hears you. And I know you've been fed this lie by the culture. You've been fed this lie by the media. And you've been told if you live this way that that's going to fulfill you. I know you're dead inside. I can see it in your eyes. I can hear it in your voice. Where are the prophets today?